Welcome from my side for today's event. We are talking today about investment opportunities in the city of Baoji. This event is hosted by the China Network Baden-Württemberg. My name is Bernhard Weber. I am the vice chairman of the China Network Baden-Württemberg. Before we start, I would like to make you aware that we are going to record today's meeting. So this has to be said for German legal reasons. And then if you don't agree, I would like to ask you not to join. Once this recording has been done, then we can continuously offer this event to our members on our website. For today, I first would like to welcome Dr. Elmar Stumpf, the chairman of the CNBW, to give us some greetings for the event. Please, Elmar, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bernhard. Dear Director Han, dear Director Zhang, dear participants of the Baoji Online Investment Conference. As Bernhard already mentioned, I'm Elmar Stumpf. I'm the chairman of the board of the China Network Baden-Württemberg, and I'm very pleased to welcome you all to the event today. We, the China Network Baden-Württemberg, is very happy to host this important activity this morning. And we are also very happy to do this in cooperation with the Baoji Investment Promotion Bureau. We are very much looking forward getting to know the investment advantages in this interesting city in the Shaanxi province. Moreover, we are also looking forward to get to know more about activities of companies which are already invested in this city. For example, the Baoji Yucheng Titanium Industry Incorporated will give us some incentives, as well as the Voss Automotive Component Shaanxi Company Limited. They will both give us insights of what they are doing there. We are looking forward to the discussion also about the business opportunities for German enterprises in Baoji, as well as to learn more about digital market entries in China. I think this is an exciting program for today, and I would very much like to thank our partner, the Baoji Investment Promotion Bureau, for the great cooperation and the interesting opportunity to have this activity with them together this morning. I thank all of you very much for your support and wish all of us an interesting conference. Thank you very much for all of you. Thank you very much for participating. And now back to you, Bernhard.
Okay, thank you very much, Elmar. So as the second speaker for the day, I would like to welcome Director Han Mingfang. He is the director of the Baoji Investment Promotion Bureau. Please, Director Han. Han 先生，请讲话。Hello. Okay.
那个韩女士该你了。
哎呀。
你好。
Hello。你好。OK， 你好，你好。
尊敬的埃尔夫斯敦副主席和副主席微博先生，还有我们的同志们，大家下午好。非常荣幸能够与大家在线上相聚，洽谈交流，畅谈合作。请允许我介绍宝鸡方面参加会议的嘉宾与企业精英。由宝鸡市招商局和各县区开发区招商部门组成的宝鸡招商团队，参加的企业家的精英企业家有宝鸡聚成钛业公司 CEO 罗举成先生，福士汽车零部件就是我们德国福士汽车零部件陕西有限公司 CFO 张永杰先生， 秦川集团本部副总经理庞亮先生。首先，向参加此次会议的德方企业家致以诚挚的欢迎和感谢。
Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's great honor to meet you online to talk about exchange and cooperation. Please allow me to introduce the guests and the business elites who attended the meeting in Baoji. Baoji Investment Promotion Team composed of Baoji Investment Promotion Bureau and Investment Promotion Department of the countries, districts and development zone. Mr. Luo Junchen, CEO of the Baoji Junchen Titanium Industry Cooperative, and Mr. Zhang Yongjie, CFO of the WOS Automotive Components Shaanxi Cooperative, and Mr. Pan Liang, Deputy General Manager of the Qinchuan Machine Tool and Machine Group headquarters. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere welcome and gratitude to the German entrepreneurs who participated in this meeting.
宝鸡位于中国陕西省关中平原西部，辖4区8县，一个国家级开发区、高新区，总面积1.81万平方公里，常住人口332万。
Baoji City is located in the west of the Guangdong Plan, Shaanxi Province, China. It has jurisdiction over 4 districts, 8 counties, and 1 national high-tech zone, with a total area of 18,100 square kilometers and a permanent resident population of 3.32 million.
宝鸡历史文化悠久，古称陈仓，拥有8000年文明史和3000年建成史。中国一词最早出现在宝鸡出土的青铜器何尊的铭文中。
Baoji has a long history and culture known as the Chenchang in ancient time, and has the history of the 8,000 years of the civilization and 3,000 years of urban construction. The word China first appeared in the inscription of the Zhen, born unearthed in Baoji.
宝鸡地理区位优势，位于中国地理几何中心地带，辐射陕甘宁川1.5亿人口的大市场，处于新亚欧大陆桥第3个交通大十字，是全国性综合交通枢纽和生产服务型物流枢纽承载城市。阳平铁路物流中心年设计营运量800万吨，已开通了中欧、中亚、中老国际的货运宝鸡专列，为产品走出国门、远销欧亚提供了便捷的陆上通道。
Baoji has a superior geographical location. It is located in the center of the China geographical geometry, radiated a large market of 150 million people in Shaanxi, Gansu, Sichuan, and Ningxia, and is located in the 3rd traffic crossing of the new Euro-Asia land bridge. It is a national comprehensive transportation harbor and a production and service logistic harbor bearing city. The Yangping Railway Logistics Center has an annual designed capacity of 8 million tons and has opened the Baoji special train for international freight transportation in Central Europe, Central Asia, and Laos, providing a convenient land channel for products to go abroad and sell to Europe and Asia.
宝鸡工业基础雄厚，号称中国太古，钛材产量占全国65%，全球的33%，工业涵盖35个门类，224个行业，其中太极钛合金、 汽车及零部件以及以机床、输变电等为主的高端装备制造产业发展极具优势，成为中国西部工业重镇、装备制造业名城。
Baoji has a strong industrial base known as China's Titanium Valley, with titanium production accounting for 65% of the country and 33% of the world. The industry covers 35 categories and 224 industries, of which titanium and titanium alloys, automobiles, and parts, and the high-end equipment manufacturing industry has great advantages, and became an important industry town and a famous equipment manufacturing city in West China.
宝鸡生态环境宜居，南依秦岭，渭河中流，森林覆盖率56%，空气质量优良，年均295天，先后荣获联合国人居奖、国家生态园林城市等多项荣誉，是最具国际影响力旅游城市和国际丝路美食之都。
Baoji has a livable ecological environment, bordering the Qinli Mountains in the south and the middle stream of the Weihe River in the south, with a forest coverage rate of 56% and excellent air quality of 295 days per year. It has successfully won the United Nations Habitat Award, the National Ecological Garden City, and other honors, and is the most internationally influential tourist city and the international Silk Road food capital.
宝鸡投资成本适宜，非居民类用水、天然气、用电、工业用地、用工成本等生产要素与中东部地区相比，价格优势明显，高素质人力资源充沛，全市掌握专业技术的产业工人35万，有3所高职院校、18所中职院校，每年的毕业生有21000人以上。
The investment cost of Baoji are reasonable, and the cost of the non-residential water, natural gas, electricity, industrial and labor cost, and other production factors are lower compared with that of the Eastern China. And there are abundant high-quality human resources. There are 350,000 industry workers with professional skills in the city, and more than 21,000 graduates from 3 higher vocational schools and 18 secondary vocational colleges every year.
德国是高度发达的工业国，经济总量位居欧洲首位，是中国第4大双边贸易伙伴国家。汽车、高端机械、通讯技术、供配电设备及医学、化工等产业高度发达。严谨的工匠精神和厚重的工业基因闻名全球。宝鸡作为中国西部的制造业名城，工业同样是这座城市的基因。相同的工业基因催生相同的工业思维，也会促进双方的经济合作。
Germany is a highly developed industry country with the largest economic aggregate in Europe and the 4th largest bilateral trade partner of China. The automobile, high-end machinery, communication technology, power supply and distribution equipment, medical and chemical industry are highly developed, and the rigorous craftsmanship, spiritual and heavy industry genes are well known around the world. As a famous manufacturing city in West China, Baoji's industry is also has same gene of the city and the same industry gene bred the same industry thinking, and will also promote economical cooperation between the two sides.
我们诚邀各位德国企业家来宝鸡旅游观光、考察洽谈、交流合作。
We sincerely invite German entrepreneurs to visit Baoji for sightseeing, inspection, negotiation, exchange, and cooperation.
最后，向会议主办方巴登符腾堡州中德经济协会致以真诚的感谢， 也预祝这次会议取得圆满成功。谢谢。
Finally, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the CNBW who hosted the meeting. I wish the meeting completed successful. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Han. I think this was a very good and short introduction to your city, which is very meaningful. I would like now to give a short presentation about business opportunities in China at this time. So I will try to share my screen with all of you, and I will also start my video so that you can see me. Okay, 1 second. I'm just sharing my screen. Here we are. Okay. Okay, so I'm talking about business opportunities in China. We all know that at this moment, in the European media, the picture painted of China is not the most positive. But China and Germany have a lot of ties, and also China and Baden-Württemberg have very intensive ties of cooperation. Since the beginning of the 1980s, there was an intensive exchange between the provinces of Liaoning and then later also Shaanxi. And most of our big players, of our big companies, are heavily invested in China, and we also profit from transfers of earnings from China back into our state. And we also have more and more companies from China investing in our state. At this moment, we are talking about more than 300 Chinese enterprises which have already invested in Baden-Württemberg itself. We know that in the beginning of 2023, the whole relationship between China, the world, the European Union and Germany is a very interesting one. It's not just, it's a multi-leverage thing. I mean, after years of a very strict Corona policy, China ended all kind of controls. COVID spread all over the country. But that means now that China will be able and is actually doing it. It's opening the country again. And we know from the consulate in Frankfurt that business visas, multiple entry visas are now issued again for people who are going to do business in China, and most likely also tourist visas will be issued in the middle of this year. There are, and this is something we all know, there are ongoing political tensions between China and the USA and also the European Union. There are trade sanctions. America is limiting the exportation of semiconductor and semiconductor-related machinery to China. The whole world, especially USA and Europe, are considering China's position in the Ukraine war as very difficult. We do not understand why China can maintain a positive relationship with Russia. And we hope that China can really try to do the best and come up with actions to stop this war. Nevertheless, the German government maintains a very positive dialogue with China. We know that we have ongoing trade relationships and dependencies which are going on both sides. The German government is discussing very carefully their policies with China, with companies which are invested in China. And there's a new China-related strategy under discussion. There will be new EU policies which will make all business with China and other countries more difficult or more complicated. There will be the supply chain laws, investment supervision related laws. They are not directed only at China, but they also will make any kind of business and investment from foreign countries, including China, more complicated. And the EU Commission and the EU Parliament, they critically see how China is reacting to the Ukraine war. So this is one of the major factors overshadowing all political issues. We are seeing ourselves in a difficult and volatile situation, and it will be difficult in the next couple of months to decide on how it will go on. China itself has now had in 2022 one of the worst years economically. Sort of the real growth officially is 3%. Basically, it's a stagnant market. The corona measures basically crushed the whole country. Confidence is low. There is an ongoing crisis in the real estate industry, mainly in the major cities in the east. The COVID measures stopped economic development in many sectors. Automotive industry stagnant. People do not want to invest in cars, but speeding up in the electrical vehicle sector. So this is a sector which is growing very, very fast. The consumer market was very stagnant during the last year, since the end of 2021, because of COVID-related measures. The service industry suffered heavily. A lot of people left the eastern cities and went back to central China. There's an increase in unemployment, especially youth unemployment. But the central and regional government, they are taking measures to change the situation. There are, exchange rate adjustments in order to stimulate export. There's a lot of subsidies for car sales and for the automotive industries, again, mainly for the electrical vehicles. And there are new infrastructure projects to take off people off the road. And China is investing heavily, and this is something which the world really has to see, heavily in climate change related projects, because without China doing a lot there, the whole world cannot solve this problem, and therefore China takes this very, very serious. So the development of China is important. It's one of the major markets in the world. Depending how you calculate it, it's in purchasing power. It's basically on a parity with the Western European, with the EU. So it is one of the major markets, and we cannot do business in the world without taking China serious and without doing business with China and in China. So now, how does it look? I mean, plan in reality, we are now in the 14th five-year plan. One of the major issues in this plan was the promotion of the dual circulation economy. We all heard about it. It means that there will be a big economic circulation concentrating on the inner Chinese market. And only if you are invested in China, basically, you will be a part of that economy. And there will be a separate circuit, independent and self-contained, which will serve the export market outside of China. So if you want to be a part of the real Chinese inner economy, it will be more and more important to be in China, to have investments in China, or to have very solid relationships with companies in China. China is also planning from a central kind of basis the technological leadership of China for major industrial sectors in the coming years. So some fields are already kind of occupied by Chinese players. The solar industry, basically 80–90% is occupied by Chinese players. E-mobility, most German automotive companies are behind Chinese companies. The biggest player worldwide is BYD, followed by Tesla, but also Tesla only can do this because they are heavily invested in China. The whole supply chain relating to e-vehicles is very much in Chinese hands. Some monopolies like raw earth processes are are very strong in China. China still has a lot of dependencies internationally, you know, feedstock, for example, 80% imported. The major raw materials for keeping this industry going have to be imported. And in some key technologies, like semiconductors, gas turbines, and software and so on, China still is lagging behind the West and has to import. So therefore, you know, sometimes the political ideas, the political aspirations, and the reality do not always match. But that means that the Western world still can, must, and is welcome to cooperate with China as a technological partner. The one downside would be now that the stand of China regarding the Russia aggression, war against Ukraine, that threatens very much China's international standing, but it should not stop foreign companies to check out all possibilities in China and to really discuss what they can do in order to do business in China. I see that there are chances and risks for foreign invested enterprises and in China, and for also companies which are exporting to China. The end of the COVID restrictions definitely will be the start for a solid rebound of the Chinese domestic economy. And I know already now that a lot of the leaders of big international companies are on the way to China as we are speaking, or traveling around China to check out how their development, how their companies developed during those 2 years when China was basically closed to the world, and what kind of new opportunities they will get. The dual circulation economy, as I mentioned, it has chances and risks. And one of the chances is that if you are deciding to invest in China, you will be a part of the inner circuit. And it will pose a risk for companies who are relying only on export to China. That will be something which they have to really reconsider. Supply chain security, I mean, this has been during COVID, a lot of companies have now considered to change, you know, to go away from profit optimization to real security. And also, you know, it's in the national interest of a lot of countries to force companies to do some of the fundamentally important productions back in Europe. Let's just talk about medical equipment, medical pharmaceutical products. And so we see that the political importance of economy in China, it's the major legitimization of the Chinese government. And therefore, China will do everything to keep the country afloat, to keep growth going. And last but not least, let's not forget that China also is the biggest player in the world's biggest trade agreement, the RCEP, which basically consists of 15 of all the ASEAN countries plus China. And it's the biggest, it's about a third of the world's population, the biggest market and the fastest growing market. All these countries are growing still very, very fast. So if you are in China and you have a good production going, then you can export basically free of charge or free of any kind of taxes into this market, which is a big, big benefit. So of course, we see a higher volatility. The world situation is complicated. The new Chinese government, which will come up after the 2 sessions, a new power concentration around Mr. Xi can be good, can be bad. But we expect there will be a recovery, a fast recovery after COVID. A political relationship between the blocs, between the European Union, China, and USA will be complicated. And China's foreign policy, we see there are some changes. The discussions are going on. They try to come back. Some ways it's a bit awkward, but most likely China will try to also make themselves visible as a peace negotiator in with Russia in the Ukraine thing. We will see more Chinese competition in all sectors, and this competition is growing fast and expands. There are state subsidies for key industries. There is a Belt and Road Initiative, China 2025 and 35. So if you are in China, you have a chance to understand what's going on. If you are not, you will be surprised by competition which will come up and maybe wipe you away. The regionalization of supply chain production most likely will be very important. It will be a globalization 2.0. Basically, every company will see how much they will to invest in safety, how much they will invest in optimization of EBIT. And the dual circulation economy of China will be observed, but basically, if you are in China, it will help you. It will be more and more important to understand the Chinese market, to understand the size and dynamic of the Chinese market as a new benchmark, and also to observe carefully upcoming Chinese competitors. German brands, know-how and technology are still welcome in China. Customer focus is extremely important in China, whether you are doing business to business or business to customer. You need a sales team, your own sales team in China, potentially also production and R&D in China for China, and your own customer service in China. Understanding China as a major player of the Asian economy is very important. And if you have your own investment in China, you can benefit under most circumstances from the Chinese market dynamics, Chinese competition. You will enjoy some of their subsidies and benefits for your own development, and you can focus in China on the Chinese market. China competency is a big issue. I mean, we have far too little here in Europe, but if you as an investor invest in China, you will be able to accumulate for your market, for your industry, what you need. And I think it's the time to consider all kinds of cooperation with Chinese companies, not just direct investment, but also new kind of joint ventures. And it will be, companies are able to succeed in China in order to maintain also their own technological leadership. I think this is very, very important, because now we are strong, but we have to be strong also in the future. And we can utilize chances in China to leverage our strength, not only in the Chinese market, but from there also back to Europe. So far from my side. And now I stop sharing, and I would like to pass on to Mr. Chang Haiming. Mr. Chang Haiming is the Vice Director of Baoji's Investment Promotion Bureau. And before he starts to speak, one short word from my side. Please feel free to write your questions in the chat function, so that later when we start to talk, have a small discussion, your questions also can be answered. So, Mr. Chang, please go ahead. Thank you very much.
女士们、先生们，大家好！非常荣幸有机会向大家介绍宝鸡，更真诚的期待通过我的介绍，大家能更深入的了解宝鸡，走进宝鸡，投资宝鸡。
Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. It's a great honor to have the opportunity to introduce Baoji to you. I sincerely hope that through my introduction, you can understand Baoji more deeply, enter Baoji and invest in Baoji.
宝鸡位于中国陕西省关中平原西部，东经106度18分到108度03分。 和北纬33度35分到35度06分之间，光、热、水资源丰富，年平均降水量在590到900毫米之间，年日照 1860到2250小时，年平均气温7.6摄氏度到12.9摄氏度，空气质量优良年均295天，宜居宜业。
Baoji is located in west of the Guangzhou plant in Shaanxi, China, between 106 and 108 eastern latitude and 33 to 35 north latitude. Rich in night heating and water resources, the annual average precipitation is 590 and 900 millimeter. The annual sunshine is 1,860 and 2,250 hours. The annual average temperature is 7.6 to 12.9 degree, and the air quality are very good.
宝鸡区位交通便利，位于新亚欧大陆桥第3个交通大十字，是全国性综合交通枢纽和生产服务型物流枢纽承载城市。徐兰高铁、陇海铁路横贯市区，宝成铁路向南伸展，宝中铁路向北延伸，形成以宝鸡为枢纽辐射西南、西北、华北和中原地区的铁路运输网络。
Baoji is located in third traffic crossing of the new Euro-Asia continent bridge, which makes it very convenient for international and intercontinental railroad logistics. It has a national comprehensive transportation harbors, many railway cross Baoji. So it's a very convenient to transport things around China and to all the world.
宝鸡位于陕、甘、川、宁4省省会城市的几何中心，辐射4省1.5亿人口的大市场。建设中的宝鸡机场运营后，可实现市县1小时连通，与毗邻地区城市2小时连通，与周边省会城市3小时连通，与京津冀长三角、粤港澳4小时直通。
Baoji also located in the center between the capital city of the Shaanxi, Gansu, Sichuan, and the Ningxia province, in the middle of the largest market of 150 million people in those 4 provinces. The new Baoji airport is under construction. Once it is finished, there will be much convenient connection between the Baoji and other China city and the international.
宝鸡工业基础雄厚，涵盖35个门类、224个行业，形成了以钛及钛合金、汽车及零部件、优势装备制造、食品4大支柱产业集群，以及航空航天、新能源、电子信息、生物医药、机器人及关键零部件等5大新兴产业为主导的现代工业体系，是38个国家创新型试点城市之一。
Baoji has a strong industrial foundation, covers 35 categories and 224 industries, and has formed the modern industry system dominated by the 4 pillars industry clusters of the titanium and then titanium alloys, automobiles, and parts, advantage equipment manufacturing, and the food production, as well as 5 emerging industries such as aerospace, new energy, electrical information, biomedicine, robots, and key parts. It's one of China's 38 national innovative pilot city.
一是钛及钛合金产业，宝鸡号称中国太古，是中国钛工业的摇篮，是国际钛博览会永久会址。宝鸡钛产业被中国科技部列为全国首批创新型产业集群建设工程， 由宝泰集团、宝鸡、正威等产业链相关企业590余户，钛材产量占全国的65%，全球的33%，广泛应用于航空航天、石油化工、生物医药、海洋工程等领域。当前，我们正积极延伸钛产业链，拓展钛在高端装备制造和医疗、体育、休闲生活等领域的应用，期待与各位企业家在建材钛、机电钛、海洋钛、医用钛、民用钛等多领域合作。正在建设的2000亩宝鸡钛及新材料产业园，热诚期盼有意愿的企业入园发展。
So the first titanium and titanium alloy industry, Baoji, also known as China's titanium valley, is the cradle of the China's titanium industry and the permanent seat of the International Titanium Expo. Baoji is the world's largest titanium production harbor. Our titanium industry is listed by the Minister of the Science and Technology of China as the first batch of the innovative industry cluster construction project in China. There are more than 590 enterprises related to the industry chain, such as the Baoji Titanium Group and the Baotai Zhenwei. The output of titanium production products account for 65% of the country and 33% of the world, and is widely used in aerospace, petrochemical, biological, medicine, marine energy, and other fields. At present, we are actively extending the titanium industry chain and expanding the applications of titanium in the high-end equipment manufacturing and medical sport, leisure life, and other fields. We're looking forward to cooperating with enterprises in building material titanium, electronic medical titanium, marine titanium, medical titanium, civilian titanium, and other fields. The 1.4 square meters Baoji Titanium and the new materials industry park, which is under construction, would be a good basis for interested company. We encourage any type of cooperation.
二是汽车及零部件产业，宝鸡拥有陕汽商用车、吉利等13户整车及300多户汽车零部件生产企业，形成了以中轻型载货汽车、中高档 SUV、新能源商用车、专用车等为主导，发动机、变速器、车桥等关键零部件并重发展的产业体系。来宝鸡投资整车生产，我们有数量多、质量优的零部件汽车做配套。投资零部件产业，我们的多个整车制造企业正急需零部件企业参与分工协作。当前，宝鸡正加快建设全国新能源与智能网联汽车、中高端自主品牌乘用车、高档合资重卡、中轻卡专用车与汽车零部件产业基地，诚挚希望在新能源整车、关键零部件等领域与各位企业家展开合作。我们有已建成的超100万平方米的标准化厂房等着您。
The second is the automobile and the parts industry. Baoji has 13 completed vehicle factories and more than 300 auto parts manufacturing enterprises, such as Shaanxi Auto Commercial Vehicle and Geely, forming an industry system dominated by medium and light trucks, medium and high-end SUV, new energy commercial vehicle, and special vehicles, with equal emphasis on the development of the key components such as engines, transmissions, axles, To invest in the production of the finished vehicle in Baoji, we have the large number of the high-quality parts enterprises, such as supporting facilities. Investing in the parts industry, many of these automobile manufacturing enterprises are in urgent need of the parts enterprises to participate in the division of the labor and the cooperation. At the present, Baoji is speeding up the construction of the national industrial basis of new energy and intelligent networked vehicles, medium and high-end self-brand passenger cars, high-end joint venture heavy trucks, medium and light trucks, special vehicles and auto parts. We sincerely hope to cooperate with entrepreneurs in the field of the new energy vehicles, key parts, and other fields. We have built a standardized factory with more than 1 million square meters waiting for you.
三是优势装备制造产业，宝鸡在数控机床、轨道交通、石油机械、电力装备等装备制造行业有60多种产品销量居全国或世界同行业前列。秦川机床高精密度数控机床行业第一，机器人关节减速器国内领先。宝鸡机床的金属切削机床出口60多个国家和地区。中铁宝桥是全球种类最全、技术最优的道岔生产企业，也是国内领先的钢结构桥梁总包商。宝石机械石油钢管生产的陆地石油钻井平台、万米深井石油钻机、特种钢管等远销全球。宝鸡还是全国重要的中低压输配电设备生产基地，有施耐德宝光、西电宝鸡电器等相关企业50余户。智能电网中低压成套设备、智能制造技术全国领先。当前，我们正持续做大优势装备产业，用好装备制造首台套政策，推进重大装备新产品创新研发，期待与各位企业家在机床工具、电力装备、石油装备、轨道交通等领域展开合作。
The third advantage in equipment manufacturing industry, Baoji has more than 60 kinds of the products in the equipment manufacturing industry, such as CNC machine tool, rail transit, petroleum machinery, electrical equipment, and so on, which are among the top in the countries or the world. Xinchuan machine tool ranks first in the high processing CNC machine tool industry, and the robot joint reducer is leading in China. The metal cutting machine tool of the Baoji machine tool are exported to more than 60 countries and regions. China Railway Baoji is the most comprehensive turnout machine manufacturer with the best technology in the world, and also the leading steel structure bridge general contractor in China. Jin Machinery onshore wall drilling platform produced by petroleum steel pipe, 10,000 meter deep well oil riggers, and special steel pipes are exported to the world. Baoji is also the important production basis of the medium and low voltage power transmission and distribution equipment in China. There are more than 50 related enterprises, such as Baoji Electric. The intelligent manufacture technology of the medium and low voltage complete side of the equipment in smart grid is leading in the country. At the present, we are continue to expand the advantage in equipment industry, make good use of the first set policy of the equipment manufacturer, promote innovation and development of the major equipment and the new products, and looking forward to cooperating with enterprises in the field of the machine tools, electrical equipment, petroleum equipment, rail transit, etc.
宝鸡投资成本适宜，非居民类用电、天然气用电、工业用地、用工成本等生产要素与中东部地区相比，价格优势明显。铁路物流中心年设计运量800万吨，运输成本低，已开行中欧、中亚、中老国际货运宝鸡专列。高素质人力资源充沛，全市掌握专业技术的产业工人35万人，3所高职、18所中职院校，每年毕业生2万1千人以上。对企业所需的职业技术工人，还可根据需求开展订单培训，实现产教无缝对接。
The investment cost of Baoji preparate, no residence water, natural gas, electricity, industry land, labor cost, and other production factors has obviously price advantages compared with the coastal and eastern provinces of China. The railway logistics center has an annual capacity of 8 million tons at a very low transportation cost. It has opened the Baoji special train for international freight transportation to Central Europe, Central Asia, and Laos. The city has abundant high-quality human resources and 350,000 industry workers with professional skills. There are more than 21,000 graduates from 3 higher vocational colleges and 18 secondary vocational colleges every year. For the professional and technical workers required by the enterprises, order training can also be carried out according to the demand to realize the seamless connection between industry and education.
各位企业家朋友们，当前宝鸡正聚力建设关中平原城市群副中心城市，工业是这座城市发展的基因。我们将竭诚未来宝鸡投资先进制造业的企业，创造最优的发展环境。
Dear entrepreneur, at present, Baoji is focused on building a stable central city of the Guangdong Plan urban agglomeration. Industry is the gene of the city's development. We will wholeheartedly create the best development environment for enterprises investing in advanced manufacturing industry in Baoji.
各位我们全力做强园区承载。国家高新技术产业开发区宝鸡高新区全国排名第46位。蔡家坡经济技术开发区正在积极创建国家级经开区。宝鸡综合保税区是陕西省首个非省会城市综合保税区。入区企业除了享受一般保税政策外，还可享受厂房仓库租金减免、贸易与物流发展专项资金补助、跨境电商按单补贴、报关1对1保姆式服务等等。
We make every effort to strengthen the economic capacity of our region. Baoji High-Tech Zone of the National High-Tech Industry Development Zone ranks 46 in the country. Caijiapo Economic and Technological Development Zone is actively building a national economic and technological development zone. Baoji Comprehensive Bounded Zone is the first comprehensive bounded zone of the no provinces capital city in Shaanxi province. In addition to enjoying the general bounded policy, enterprises entering the zone can also enjoy the rent reduction of the factory building and the warehouse special subsidies for trade and logistic development. subsidized for cross-border e-commerce according to the order, one-to-one linear service for customer declaration.
我们全力提供一流营商服务，对外商投资企业实行准入前国民待遇加负面清单管理制度，建设法治化、国际化营商环境，健全外商投资服务体系，为外国投资者和外商投资企业提供法律法规、政策措施、投资项目信息等方面的咨询，并实行专班服务，全程帮办，用真诚的、专业化的服务，为您的事业提供护航和帮助。
We fully provide the first-class business services, implement the pre-entry national treatment, plus the negative list management system for foreign invested enterprises. Building a legalized international business environment, improve the foreign investment services system, provide the foreign investors and the foreign invested enterprises with consulting on laws and regulations, policy measures, investment project information, and other aspects, and implement special services, whole process assistance with sincere and professional services, provide support and help for your career.
女士们、先生们，我们中国有一句话叫"每个人的心中都有一亩田，种桃、种李、种春风"。我们在座的宝鸡招商团队人心中都有一个梦，就是引才、引智、引项目。我们诚邀各位德国企业家到宝鸡旅游观光、考察交流、洽谈合作。谢谢。
Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely invite German enterprises to visit Baoji for sightseeing, inspection, and exchange and cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Zhang. This was a very good introduction into the possibilities and potential of Baoji. And one of the things which I think most of our listeners and our attendants will find very interesting, that Baoji is the center of 33% of the world's titanium production. And therefore we now ask Mr. Luo Chuchang, who is the CEO of Baoji's Chuchang titanium industry, to talk about that particular industry and to give us an introduction, and also to tell us why Baoji is the center, the biggest kind of single center of the world's titanium industry. Mr. Luo also explain us, where does the titanium come from? So the floor is open to you, Mr. Luo.
罗先生，该你了。
女士们、先生们，我是宝鸡巨城钛业的总经理罗举成，非常荣幸有机会向德国企业家们分享宝鸡的钛产业和巨城钛业的发展情况。
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Luo Juncheng, CEO of the Baoji Juncheng titanium industry. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to share the development of the Baoji titanium industry and my company with German entrepreneurs.
中国具有联合国产业分类中所有的工业门类，得益于完整的产业发展体系和超大规模的制造能力及消费市场，中国成为最大的钛材生产国和消费国，已成为国内投资热点。宝鸡作为中国太古，地位明显，产业优势突出，主要表现在以下几个方面。
China has all the industry categories in the United Nations industry classification, benefiting from the completed industrial development system and the super-scale manufacturing capacity and the consumer market. China has become the largest producer and consumer of the titanium materials and has become a hot spot for domestic investment. Baoji, as the titanium valley of China, has an obvious position and permanent industry advantages, which are mainly reflected in the following aspects.
第一是产业规模突出，经过60多年发展，宝鸡民营钛企业的蓬勃发展，产业集群内聚集生产、研发、加工、销售企业590余户。2020年，宝鸡钛材生产加工量约为5万吨，占全国的65%，全球的33%，已成为全世界最大的钛产业发展聚集区。
First, outstanding industry scale. After more than 60 years of development, Baoji private titanium enterprises has flourished. There are more than 590 enterprises engaged in production, research, and development, processing, and sales in the industry cluster. In 2020, Baoji's titanium production and processing capacity is about 50,000 tons, accounting for 65% of the country's total and 33% of the world's total. It has become the largest titanium industry development cluster in the world.
二是产业链条完备，已形成从钛熔铸、钛锭锻造开胚、轧制各种材料产品、钛设备制造、各种钛的深加工产品的完整的钛产业生产链条，可生产95个牌号、244个品种、5000多余种规格的钛及钛合金的管材、板材。产业链不断向航空、航天、深海、医疗等应用领域延伸。
Second, the industrial chain is completed. A complete titanium industry production chain has been formed from titanium melting and casting, titanium ingot forging and opening, rolling, plant rolling, tube rolling, wire drilling, various material and products, titanium equipment manufacturing, various titanium deep processing products. It can produce 95 brands, 244 varieties, and more than 5,000 specifications of titanium and titanium ordnance profiles and tubers. The industry chain continued to extend to aviation, airspaces, deep sea, medical, and other applications.
三是技术水平最强，代表了中国钛材料研发和生产领域的先进水平。建成国家级公共服务平台13个，国家级企业技术中心2个，国家级检测中心1个，院士工作站2家，博士后工作站2家，拥有太古和宝钛2个国际知名品牌，聚集各类科技人才资源将近8万余人，综合研发投入30亿元以上，累计获得专利授权8061件。
The third is the highest technical level. It represents the advanced level in the research and development and the production of the titanium materials in China. It has built 13 national level public service platforms, 2 national level enterprise technology centers, 1 national level testing center.
第5是太古效应彰显，已举办4届国际钛博会，钛博会永久会址设在宝鸡。第13届全国激光加工产业年会、中国钛板带高峰论坛等行业盛会在宝召开。宝鸡中国太古品牌效应和钛产业行业话语权进一步增强。
The fourth Titanium Valley effect is highlighted. 4th session of the International Titanium Expo has been held. The permanent site of the expo is located in Baoji. The 13th National Laser Processing Industry Annual Conferences, China Titanium Plant and Belt Summit Forum, and other industry events has been held in Baoji. The brand effect of the Baoji China Titanium Valley and the discourse power of the titanium industry has been further strengthened.
宝鸡聚成钛业股份公司有限公司成立于2004年5月，注册资金5000万元。公司主要从事钛材料、钛制品、钛设备、钛生活用品的加工、开发、销售以及进出口业务，已通过 ISO 9001:2008质量关系体系认证，已获得发明专利3项、实用新型专利33项。于2017年6月份在全国中小企业股份转让系统成功挂牌。2021年被认定为国家级专精特新小巨人企业。
Baoji Juncheng Titanium Industry was established in May 2004 with a registered capital of 50 million yuan. The company is mainly engaged in the processing, development, sales, and import and export of titanium materials, titanium products, titanium equipment, and titanium daily necessities. It has passed the ISO 9001:2008 Quality Management System certification, obtained 3 invention patents and 33 utility model patents, and was successfully listed in the National Equity Exchange System for small and medium-sized enterprises in June 2017, and in 2021 it was recognized as a national specialized small giant enterprises.
一是钛制品种类丰富且市场占有率颇高，生产的专利产品钛种板年产500吨，在施发冶金市场占有率70%以上，钛板年产3000吨以上，新能源及环保领域的市场占有率为60%以上，钛制品年产500吨，石化市场占有率为65%以上，钛设备生产能力150多台套，在焦化市场占有率为90%以上。
The variety of the titanium products is rich and the market share is quite high. The annual output of the patent products titanium seed plant is 500 tons, accounting for more than 70% of the hydrometallurgical market. The annual output of the titanium plant is more than 3,000 tons, and the market share of the new energy and environmental protection is more than 60%. The annual output of the titanium products is 500 tons, and the petrochemical market share is more than 65%. The annual production capacity of titanium equipment is more than 150 sites, accounting to more than 90% of the coking market.
二是建成4大加工中心，建成以钛制品研发中心、钛设备制造中心、钛材料加工中心、钛生活推广中心，形成了独特的科技创新经营模式，在国内外稀有金属材料加工领域，已成为具有一定影响力和地位的高新技术企业。
The 4 major processing centers has been established, including Titanium Products R&D Center, Titanium Equipment Manufacturing Center, Titanium Material Processing Center, and the Titanium Living Products Promotion Center, forming a unique scientific and technological innovation business model, and has become a high-tech enterprise with certain influence and status in field of the real metal industry, real metal material processing at home and abroad.
三是公司生产销售钛设备广受好评。公司研发的国内换热面积最大的钛螺旋板换热器，已在武钢集团焦化公司安装使用。专利产品钛基复合管已在洛阳石化公司投入生产，取得良好效益。拥有4项专利技术的钛种板产品在施发冶金领域取得了广泛好评。全钛空冷器在北美市场得到了极大的推广与认可。
The third, titanium equipment produced and sold by the company is widely prized. The titanium spiral plant heating exchange with the largest heat exchange graver in China developed by the company has been installed and used in the coking company of the Wuhan Iron and Steel Group. The patented titanium matrix composed pipe has been put into the production in Luoyang Petrochemical Company and has achieved good benefits. Titanium seed plant products with 4 patented technologies has been widely prized in the field of the hydrometallurgy. Our titanium air cooler has been greatly promoted and recognized in the North American market.
四是扩大产能，不断提高经济效益。公司将适应市场需求，扩大产能。预计未来3年，公司效益将实现快速增长。公司将继续在资本市场不断成长，计划于2024年之前在北京证券交易所挂牌上市。
The fourth company will adapt to the market demand and expand its capacity. It has expected that the company's benefits will achieve rapid growth in the next 3 years. The company will continue to grow in the capital market and plan to be listed in the Science and Technology Innovation Board of the Shenzhen Stock Exchange or Beijing Stock Exchange before 2024.
最后，欢迎德国企业与我们公司在产品研发、技术工艺和贸易方面进行合作洽谈交流。谢谢大家。
Finally, we welcome German employees and our company to discuss and exchange cooperation in product research and development, technology and trade. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Lohr. I think this was, for me, a very interesting introduction because I do not have a lot of experience with titanium, but titanium is one of the metals of the future because it is extremely lightweight and it will be very important in the production of new cars where we need less weight so that we can drive faster on the battery power. Talking about the automotive market, which was also mentioned by Mr. Zhang Haiming, that there are lots of companies in that field already invested in Baoji. We are now happy to invite Mr. Zhang Yongqie, who is the CFO of Voss Automotive Components in Shaanxi, a German invested company, to explain a little bit about Voss and their involvement in Baoji. Mr. Zhang, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and good morning to the participants in Germany. I'm from Voss Automotive Components Shaanxi Corporation Limited, and we are very honored and pleased to make a speech at this conference on behalf of Voss Group. Voss is a world-renowned supplier in automotive components area, focusing on developing, engineering, and producing line and connection systems worldwide for the transportation industry. Headquarters is located in Wipperfeld, Germany. And Voss has 6,500 employees worldwide. The group revenue was 6 million RMB. Our operating strategy is to get close to customers worldwide. We have built a lot of factories all over the world, including the 3 entities in China located in Jinan, Yulin, and Baoji. With subsidiaries and production sites worldwide, Voss guarantees the fastest possible service, including technical support, customer-specific product development, and consistent production and logistics standards. And this slide shows the geographical distribution of Voss plants all over the world. Here, several key products are displayed on this picture. Voss products have become the standard configuration for high-end and mainstream heavy-duty trucks at OEM in the fields of pneumatic, fuel, or in the field to improve air quality, so-called SCR technology that's helping to reduce emissions of diesel engines. In the thermal management solution of new energy vehicles, force solutions with comprehensive cost advantage have achieved big success in the applications of battery liquid cooling and vehicle cooling. This slide shows several concrete system solutions for different connection fields. And with broad expertise and mature technology, force maintains the competitive advantage and successful operations. We are experts in the field of machining, electroplating, injection molding, tube extrusion, component assembly, etc. This picture explains how the Force Baoji plant originated. Force China was founded in 2007 and henceforth has been serving as a main supplier in the line connection field for the domestic heavy-duty trucks. Force China began to cooperate with Shaanxi from the year 2014 and have become the reliable supplier for Shaanxi Group ever since. With the deepening of cooperation, Force had been looking for opportunities to build a factory in Shaanxi province for the purpose to provide better service to local customers. Baoji City attracted the attention of Force decision makers due to not only her great geographical advantage, but also the sincerity and enthusiasm of the local government's expectation for foreign capital investment. We are convinced that there will be many advantages to build a business in Baoji City. From our perspective, we prefer the below mentioned 3 points. First one is the geographical position of Baoji is superior. Located at the center of China, Baoji is an important transporting hub of the Eurasia Land Bridge and transporting intersection between the Chinese East and West. With different transportation networks extending in all directions, such as expressways, high-speed railways, airways, etc., products can be shipped directly to the domestic and overseas markets with high efficiency and low cost. The existing customers of Force, like Shaanxi Group and Fast, are both located in Baoji City, which brings enormous conveniences for our services and deliveries. The second advantage is that the local market prospect is bright. The auto industry of Shaanxi province has experienced rapidly developing in recent years, and the auto industry has become the engine to drive the local economy, which bring good opportunities for the auto components industries. A lot of famous auto brands have factories in the cities of Baoji and Xi'an. The local potential market is widely open. The third one is that the city has a friendly business environment and abundant supporting policies. The city government issued 10 pieces of measures to support the headquarters enterprises for their further development, which brings not only great conveniences for the registration and operation, but also a lot of tangible economic benefits to the enterprises. The government has also formulated the policy series of 1+5+N recently to support the manufacturing industry to develop with high quality. What's more important, the local government officials always proactively help to solve all kinds of problems that troubling resident enterprises within their power. With considerations of above mentioned factors, Force decided to build a factory at the Zhejiapu Economic Development Zone, Baoji City, together with Shaanxi Group. The joint venture was established in September 2021 with registered capital of 50 million RMB. The factory began to deliver its products in March 2022. The investors have confidence for the outlook of the joint venture and will expand the investment scale in the near future. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chang. So it's very impressive to have a company starting in the middle of the pandemic and to be able then also to produce within such a short time. I guess this is what China stands for. Now let's come to our third case study. Mr. Pan Liang, the Deputy General Manager of Tinchuan Machine Tool and Tool Group, will explain about his company in Baoji. Thank you very much. So welcome, Mr. Pan.
女士们、先生们，大家好，我是秦川集团的庞亮，非常高兴能有借这个机会介绍一下秦川集团的发展和产业的布局情况。
Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. I'm Pan Liang, Deputy General Manager of the Qinchuan Machine Tool and Tool Group headquarters. I'm very happy to introduce the company's development to you.
秦川机床工具集团是中国机床工具行业的龙头骨干，有国家级制造业单项冠军产品和多级国家专精特新小巨人企业。 先后获得国家科技进步奖1等奖1次，中国国家工业大奖项目表彰奖等多项荣誉。我在这说一下，国家科技进步1等奖在我们机床工具行业，只有秦川集团是唯一一次获得国家科技进步1等奖的。
Okay, Qinchuan Machine Tool and Tool Group is the leading backbone of the China's machine tool industry. It has a number of the national level manufacturer champion products and the number of the national level specialized the small giant enterprises. It has won many honors in the world, such as the first prizes of National Scientific and Technology Progress Award, China Industry Award. So this kind of award was the Qinchuan Machine Tool is only company in this industry win such award.
秦川集团拥有秦川机床、宝鸡机床、汉江机床、汉江工具、沃克齿轮、秦川格兰德、秦川宝仪等多家企业，是中国机床工具行业品类最多、精密复杂程度最高、产业链最完整、综合竞争优势显著的企业之一。
Qinchuan Machine and Tool Group owns Qinchuan Machine Tool headquarters, Baoji Machine Tools, Hanjiang Machine Tools, Hanjiang Tools, Walker Gears, Qinhan Grandes, Qinhuan Baoye, and other enterprises. It was one of the enterprises with the most categories, the highest degree of the processing and complexity, the most completed industry chains, and significant comprehensive competitive advantages in China machine tool industry.
秦川集团的战略是以主机业务为引领，以高端制造与核心部件为支撑。 以智能制造为新的突破口，在“十四五”末实现4大板块总体量营业收入101.38亿元。
Our strategy is to achieve the total operation revenue of the 10 billion yuan in the 4 major sectors by the end of the 14th 5-year plan, with the laser business as the guidance, high-end manufacturing and the core components as the support, and the intelligent manufacturing as the new breakthrough.
秦川集团的主要业务有4个方面：高端数控机床、高端制造、核心零部件、数控系统及智能制造系统集成。主要产品包括齿轮加工机床，市场占有率56%；高端5轴加工中心及车铣复合机床、车靴中心、外圆磨床、螺纹磨床等。螺纹磨床市场占有率75%。工业机器人关节减速器、精密齿轮箱、汽车助力泵、拱珠丝杠、直线导轨、复杂刀具、数控系统、智能制造系统集成。
Our company main business include the 4 aspects: high-end CNC machine tools, high-end manufacturing, core parts, CNC system, and the intelligent manufacturing system integration. Main products include the gear machine tools. It's about 56% of the market share. High-end 5X machine centers and turning marine components machine tools, turning centers, cylinder grinders, threading grinders, at 75% of the market share. Industry robot reducers, processing gears, gearbox, automobile booster pump, bear screw, linear guidance rail, complex tools, integration of a CNC system and the intelligent manufacturing system.
秦川集团具有5方面的合作优势，分别为知名品牌优势、技术研发优势、作为上市公司的资本优势、机床行业的政策优势以及丰富的产品线的优势。
Our company has 5 advantages of the corporations, including the well-known brand advantages, technological R&D advantages, capital advantages as a listed company, policy advantage of the machine tool industry, and the rich product line advantages.
秦川集团作为高端工艺装备的提供者，为国家用户提供关键领域的关键装备，是企业最大的价值体现。有意愿与德国企业在高端装备制造方面达成合作，达成共赢，挖掘发展潜力，推进企业腾飞。谢谢大家。
Our company as the provider of the high-end technological equipment provides the key equipment in key fields for the country and the users, which is the biggest volume inbound of the enterprises. It's willing to reach cooperation with German enterprise in high-end equipment manufacturing to achieve the win-win result, tapping the development potential and promote the enterprises takeoff. Thank you very much.
Deep introduction in your company. As the next speaker, I would like to welcome Mr. Andreas Klein, who is the managing partner of Klei China Marketing Company. He will give us an idea how Western companies can work digitally in China. So it's called about digital market entry in China. So Mr. Klei, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. And also thank you for the participants for the interesting speeches you gave already. From this side, of course, the topic is very large, and it's, of course, important that we get an overview today about what can be and what are the possibilities that can be done when entering the market. And with entering the market, it's not only that you are engaging more and more in the Chinese market, or that you are new to the Chinese market. Those are actually things that you can do all the time, and you always have to change the chance to improve what you're already doing. So I want to talk a little bit about what German companies, especially in this part, and foreign companies, when entering China or engaging more in China or visiting China, can do and needs to understand before that. So for the Chinese audience, of course, a lot of the things you know, and hopefully I can give some added value to the German participants, because I want to explain some of the basics, and I give the key takeaways right in the beginning. I think so from our experience as a marketing agency that are developing marketing strategies and consulting German companies when they're on the Chinese market, we have a few key takeaways that is crucial. And to put it into one word is like localization, right? So we heard that before. The localization is a very important key strategic element when doing business in China, and also when wanting to be successful in China. That means a lot of things, and I want to focus on the localization when it comes to the digital part of marketing. So there's so much importance in building a digital brand that can be tangible, that the product and the brand can be tangible online in a digital way. We know that the modern world, information services and all of the things, they will all take place online. Of course, we need the physical exchange between people. We need to build trust in person, but all of the things beside that will have a process before and after making business that is crucial to do that online. The Chinese digital ecosystem should be used by German companies even more. Of course, the digital landscape in China is different to what we are used to in Germany or use in Europe. Nevertheless, it's so important for foreign companies, for German companies to understand the power of WeChat, of the Alibaba ecosystem, and all of the platforms that we are Chinese customers, is it a supplier, a company, or the end user, will use in everyday life. So it's also for using these digital channels is also enabling the internal and external communication. And doing business in China, the absolute crucial thing is that you guys have to use WeChat, because so many important things in everyday private and business life is taking place on WeChat. And of course, there are multiple dimensions of doing this. And I want to give a quick update about how those things can be related. Of course, there are only some platforms. The Chinese internet landscapes is very broad, and you have a lot of services, and like every year there are coming new services up while others going down. But in principle, I want to give an overview about how these things are interrelated to each other. So on the right side, we have the private traffic, which means that for example, on WeChat, there is the private communication that you can have between two people or in a group, right? So it's your private messages or the business messages all taking place in WeChat. And of course, companies can use that while building company accounts and doing customer service and so on. So you want to have people in your private traffic, right? Where you can have your customer engagement directly with them, customer or supply engagement. But on the other side, which is so important when entering the market, is that you are able to be visible in the public traffic. That means that your agent, the one that's doing sales, maybe you have a store, maybe you have a facility, or maybe you're doing e-commerce. It's all possible where people can find you. And of course, it's similar then into the German market. You have to be visible on the search engines. You have to provide information about you and your products and your services, how you can be reached. And the leverage of social media is quite important. And this is, in my experience, one of the biggest differences in understanding of social media between business people in Germany and business people in China. Whereas in China, very normal to use platforms that are also used for social media, also for business, this is something that some of the German part is not yet fully understood, but this is so important that those things should be used in the right way and should be this way localized to the Chinese market and the Chinese circumstances. Of course, we have interactions between those big dimensions, the private and the public traffic. You want to get attention on the one side, and then you want to have a good relationship to suppliers, partners, and customers. And this is, if you want to do it digitally, WeChat is the place to do that. So I have an example for a company that we're working for. It's the multiple use of content, for example. So there we have one special product that I want to make more visible, and you can use the content on different platforms. And it's also so important to do that. So while you're having them in the private traffic WeChat, people will read it. If you have it on open platforms like Zhihu or Baidu, people can stumble across it, right? So you can ask, you can search for products, you can search for something that is related to that, and eventually you're coming to see the products that you're offering. And of course, if you're going to fairs or be physically in an interaction with the partners, you can have this online-offline connection where you, of course, the business relationship between the people is so important. And then you can build and say, okay, now look, this is my WeChat account. If you want more information, you will find it everything here. I can send you well-looking information over WeChat. And so you can establish a good relationship with people and provide them with the right information. And one interesting thing might be, if you're thinking about what you should do in China on your own and what you should maybe hire someone to do, it's a classical make or buy decision. I have some points which I want to walk you through. It's of course not everything that should be considered, but those are the key things in my opinion. So of course, the website as the main information platform, you can make an international hosting, maybe a hosting that is closer to mainland China, maybe in Hong Kong, for example. This can be done on your own. A hosting in China, therefore is a license necessary. This is something that is only possible with a subsidiary in China or a company that helps you there. Setting up a WeChat account can be done on your own and should be done by everybody has to do with China. But if it's going to be more sophisticated on that platform, there's certainly profitable if you're hiring experts to do that. Also social media, and social media is not only for sharing pictures of funny cats, it's also for showing your brand and being active there where your customers will be. Also, the e-commerce is also interesting for B2B, also interesting for B2B companies from Germany entering Chinese market, to go for Alibaba stores, for example, to list their products there just to get this exposure. Even if the shop is not selling too much with this platform, you're getting exposure to people who are interested in that. And coming to content creation, of course, a professional Chinese content should be done by someone who is capable of doing that. And as you can see, of course, you can do a lot of things on your own, but the localization, therefore you need people in China, Chinese colleagues, Chinese subsidiary or Chinese agencies that help you with the localization, which is, well, my key takeaway for this session. And well, I'm happy to be here, and maybe soon I have the opportunity to visit Baoji, where I say I've never been before, but I'm eager to go there. So thank you very much.
So, okay, thank you very much, Mr. Klein. So now we are coming to our panel discussion. I would like to ask Mr. Klein to stay online, and also I would like to ask Mr. Zhang Haiming and Mr. Luo Chuchang to come online. If there are any questions from our audience, this is the time now to finally put them in the chat function. Up to now, there are none. But so I need Mr. Luo Chichang and Mr. Chang Haiming. They should somehow.
hear me?
Okay, good. Yes, I can see you, I can hear you. Okay, thanks a lot. So basically, I have some questions, and for me, please excuse me, I'm always very interested now in the titanium from Baoji. So, Mr. Luo, where does all the titanium come from? I mean, is there a deposit, or how does it work?
Well, unfortunately, there's no titanium oil in Baoji. But the advantage of the Baoji titanium industry is the intermediate of the process of the titanium. That is the process of the sponge titanium into various titanium material or titanium oils. The raw material sponge is titanium, most of which purchased in Northwest, Southwest, and Northwest of China. And a small part is import from Australia, Russia, and Japan.
Okay, so the majority is still produced in China. So there are very big deposits in China.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And can you give us a short idea about your export business, if there is something? So do you export your products already outside of China?
Well, we export only like the titanium materials to the European and American, but for the titanium equipment to the India and Indonesia and Thailand. So it's hard, you know, it's hard to export the raw material to the European because your country has a lot of the standards. We need to apply for the standards.
Okay. Yeah, but this could be then a good chance for a joint venture, yeah? A joint venture partner.
Yes, it's a good opportunity to do this.
Good. Okay, Mr. Chang Haiming, you were mentioning in your speech that Baoji has a good environmental, not a good investment environment. And can you give us some ideas about specific policies and subsidies which Baoji can offer to foreign investors? Okay.
宝鸡环境优美，美食众多，交通便利，治安良好。宝鸡物价水平也不高，有很多外籍教师和工程技术人员常年生活在宝鸡，并给出良好评价。
You know, Baoji is a beautiful
has
city.
A beautiful environment, many delicious food and convenient transportation and good public security. The price level of Baoji is also not high. Many foreign teachers and engineers, technicians has lived in Baoji for many years and enjoy the good life here. Okay.
I have a question from one of our participants in Germany. The first question is a general one. I mean, have all the requirements of quarantine for foreign travelers been stopped? And is it possible now to visit Baoji for foreigners? You know, can we fly to China? Do we still have to go to quarantine, or is there no quarantine anymore?
受国家政策限制，宝鸡没有外国开办的义务教育阶段学校，但是有国际幼儿园和。
等一会儿，可能刚才他问的是别的问题。他问现在可以到宝鸡旅行吗？就是说到中国旅行还要隔离吗？他问的。
你说吧，不需要了。
No, now you are free to come to China. There's no quarantine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I also can add to that because we had the chance to talk to the Chinese Consul General in Frankfurt, and he said, now China is open for business. They are issuing invitations. If you have an invitation, for example, from Baoji Business Promotion Bureau, then you can get a visa to go to China, no problem. So now the same guy has the same participant has a second question. How about investments in fuel cells and hydrogen in the hydrogen industry? Maybe Mr. Liu can translate this.
I think about 他问一下，关于投资在那个燃料电池还有那个氢能源的那个方面。在宝鸡。
你说我给你翻译。
没事，
可以
宝鸡在新材料方面，我们有比亚迪汽车的零部件厂在氢能源领域，我们的宝鸡石油机械在做电解槽，承载着中石油和中石化的所有氢能源设备的制造商。两个意思，第一个说比亚迪。
we are welcome all the investment to invest in this area. For example, the Biadi, the vehicle, located in Baoji, and also we are very famous in the oil, petrol instrument production, and it is famous in电解槽。
就是氢能制造商。
I think Baoji has also the industry of new energy car like the BRD, they're making the components, and also they have the investor company making equipment for hydrogen energies.
Okay, so is there also an interest in cooperation with Western organizations, Western companies in the fuel cell and hydrogen domain?
他问你们有没有兴趣跟西方在这两方面合作，在外国跟外国。
我们非常有信心。前期的时候，我们通过博士，是亚太区总陈玉先生跟博士还打算在氢能设备制造方面进行合作。
Yes, sure. We are, you are welcome. So we have already contacted with 博士,
对，那个就德国最大的企业。
We have already had some connections and communication with one of the biggest company in Germany. Discuss about the investment and cooperation in this area.
Okay, so with Bosch, you already had some discussion about this. Good. That's one. I mean, if you want to go big deeper into this fuel cell, there are titanium alloy fuel cell. So is that something which Mr. Law with your company already is doing, or do you know companies in the field which are doing that?
微博先生问一下那个罗先生，你知道这个就是燃料电池钛合金这方面的有没有什么有关的消息？
我来说。我们宝泰集团现在拥有全球最先进的钛箔生产线，它是制造这个传输层电解槽前期传输层的必备的基础资料。在宝鸡来建设氢的制造的设备的话，这是第一步。
Okay. I think the Baotai group has all the technology developed the titanium plant, which is the key material for the hydrogen and fuel cells materials.
中国中能建、中电建，还有日本的汽车公司，我们现在的氢能源的汽车公司的原材料80%，除过进口之外，在国内都来自于宝鸡。
哦，很好。
I think the most of the China's company, also some Japanese companies use the material of titanium for hydrogen come from Baoji.
So 80% of that material is coming produced in Baoji. That's very interesting. Okay, so that would be yeah. So therefore, I mean, one of our members is highly interesting. He's highly interested in that. So he left his WeChat ID on the chat. So please get in touch with him. It's called Marius Schuster. So you will see it online. So he is very interested to get in touch with you about that. So I have one more question about the trains. You know, how many trains are going to Europe in a week? You know, the logistics from Baoji.
每一周有多少次车次从那个宝鸡到欧洲？
哦，就是问货运。
对
啊，我们基本近年来我们就每周有1次直接去欧洲的宝鸡号。
Once a week.
Once a week. Okay.
如果从长安出发，就是如果从西安出发的话，每天1列。我们去年是4000列左右，就是3956列。每天就很多。
Start from Xi'an is about every day once.
宝鸡离西安的车乘高铁就最快的速度45分钟。
Distance between Baoji and Xi'an is just 45 minutes with a high-speed train.
Okay, good. Okay, so and from Mr. Klein, I mean, what is your, you know, when you could, how could you serve a company which would like to do business with Baoji? What would you propose them as their first steps?
Well, besides things in a digital way, I can answer that question.
Yeah.
So, of course, one of the first steps will be to make information about you digitally accessible, right? So for a business relationship, you need to have information about your counterpart and you have to give information about you. So, and of course, in China, people with international business have an email address, but the way to do it is via WeChat. So to have a good pitch deck about what you're doing and what you're offering in a clear Chinese on WeChat is, I think, one of the first things I would suggest, because this would be the easiest way for people like the investment center to find interesting partners that are really suitable for you. So I think this would be like the very first step to do. Find someone and translate what you're doing and make a good Chinese pitch deck, so you will find the right partner there, or enable people to find the right partner.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. So, I mean, are there any more questions in the audience? Because I would like rather to. There's no questions coming from the audience at this moment. Then, because we have already exceeded our time, I would ask Mr. Mindung for the closing remarks for this event.
Weber 先生，咱们德国企业有没有参会的企业还有没有要讲的
？No, there are no, 没有，就是我刚刚看过，就是我没有别的问题。
没有吗？别的问题，那我就做最终的发言了。
谢谢。
女士们、先生们，会议我们按照议定的议程进行完毕。 希望会后啊，我们能够继续以务实的态度保持联系，持续跟踪合作线索，推动达成促进合作。我们期待双方能够在高端机床、智能制造、苏宾内设备等高端制造业和汽车零部件等产业开展不限于投资、技术和贸易等方面的合作。参会的德方企业如果有新的合作需求，也可以通过屏幕上我们的联系方式，我们进行联系对接。我们将竭诚为大家提供最优质的服务。
Ladies and gentlemen, our meeting is coming to end. It's hoped that the two sides will continue to maintain contact with each other in a pragmatic manner after the meeting. Continue to strengthen cooperation and the promoting cooperation. We hope that the two sides can carry out cooperation not only limited to investment, technology, and trade in high-end manufacturing industry, such as high-end machine tools, intelligent manufacturing, power transmission, and transformation equipment, and other industries such as automobile and parts. If German enterprise participant in the meeting has new cooperation needs, they can also contact us through our contact information on the screen. We will wholeheartedly provide you with the best quality services.
最后，要向为此次会议筹备、召开、付出辛勤工作的人士表示深深的感谢。感谢 Weber 先生在活动筹划阶段给出的合理建议，向现场德企推介中国的投资潜力及发展机会，并以出色的控场能力主持双方讨论交流。感谢克莱恩先生关于这个中国的数字市场准入政策的一个介绍。感谢陕西省商务厅驻汉堡商务代表段军瑞先生为此次活动的准备牵线搭桥、联络沟通以及会务保障等方面的工作。感谢德国巴登符腾堡州中德经济协会的舒斯先生和瓦德斯密特瓦德先生为活动顺利所进行的大量工作。最后感谢刘先生的精彩翻译，期待我们今天线上的相聚能够早日在现实中重现。谢谢大家。
Finally, I would like to express my deep gratitude and to those who have worked hard for the preparation and convening of these conferences. Thanks, Mr. Weber, for his reasonable suggestion in the events planning stage, introducing China's investment potential and development opportunity to German enterprises on the spot, and proceeding over the discussion and exchange between the two sides with excellent field control ability. Thanks, Mr. Duan Junrui, the business representative of Shaanxi Province Development of the Commercial in Hamburg, for his work in matchmaking, communication, and conferences preparation. Thanks, Ms. Klein, for his speech about the digital market in China. I would like to thank Mr. Schultz of CNBW and Mr. Schmidt for their great work for the smooth progress of the events. I hope that today's online gathering will reappear in reality as soon as possible. Thanks you very much.
Thank you very much also from my side. I will conclude this meeting now. I think at least there were some discussion points and some exchange will continue with Baoji, and we will put these events online so people can also look into the documents later and can inform themselves about Baoji. Thank you very much from our side to all the organizers and all the officials from Baoji, and it was a pleasure for us to prepare this and to hold this event here in Germany. Thanks to all the participants from the German side. And I conclude this now, and thanks again.